Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, and anybody that's new, welcome. So today we are going to do a Ferris wheel. It could be pretty much a centerpiece, very versatile. I'll show you when we get to it, but there's many different things that you can do with it. I do want to apologize for my last video, as my last video had, I think, just over a minute where it was muted. I tried to reload it again because you have to upload the clips onto an external app, and then you have to upload it to YouTube. And that one section, for whatever reason, on my phone, I could not get that audio back, and I don't know why. So I do apologize if anybody has questions about my last video, which is the Jenga block bunny wagon. It was just basically the filing that I was explaining and the foam ears. So we're gonna need 2 bicycle wheels from Dollar Tree. Now, in Canada, we do pay $1.50 in case someone says, ask why. I have a $1.50 tag on it, and some items we pay $1.50. That's just up here, and all our other stuff are $1.25. So you're gonna need 2 of them. Now, depending on what color you wanna do, I know Dollar Tree does have the silver ones, so it just depends on what you wanna do. I just did the spray paint, which thought that I'm going to use the white, and it's just the semi-gloss. It's the 2x ultra coat. I would do a couple coats on it and just give it, you know, time in between coats, not to oversaturate it. And you're going to have to do both sides because you will see the inside and obviously the outside, so you're going to need both coats on it. I am going to do a base. I did see this. I've seen a couple variations of this one. I'm not sure how they were made. I just looked at the picture. I do want to do something a little bit different. So these little trays, I'm going to use the base. And now the ones I've seen just had wood, just a piece of wood bottom on it. But I'm going to use one of these trays just because I want to do something different on the bottom. These are just from Dollar Tree as well. And I am just going to spray paint this white. Like, you can use any color, even on the wheel, if you don't want to do white, but I am going to do white. I just want a fresh, clean, crisp look. I am going to spray paint this when I do the bicycle wheels. So I do have the Jenga blocks here. I know I'm incorporating them in this. The only reason why is when I put the Ferris wheel down, I don't want it too low. I want it up, I just want it up a little bit higher because this will also fill in some area that I am going to fill with some, I believe, decorative stones is what I got in my mind for now. And it will be placed on here. So there is 2, I stacked them 4 down by 3, which is 12. So 24 blocks you will need. And I'm also going to paint this white as well. I'm not going to use the spray paint. I'm just going to use some Dollar Tree white paint. Once those are all getting painted, which I'm not going to do obviously on camera because I'm going to give them time to do, you will need 6 buckets. And depending on what color, now they have the white ones. They have white ones like this. I took the hangers. I'm going to take the hangers off 2 of them for the top and bottom. And if you don't want to use white, you can add some color on them. You could use the metal buckets. Dollar Tree also has the little silver metal buckets if you want to use those. I'm going to use the white ones, but I'm just going to add something a little different. Now, if you do, I'm just going to get up here. I thought about putting some ribbon around them. The only problem with the ribbon and the angle of the little buckets is that it doesn't properly seal around straight unless it curves over. This is the only thing that I don't like about it. It will be off. It won't glue as, I don't know. I'm not gonna, it's just because the way, let me just show you here. I don't know if I can show you from the upside down. It's not gonna seal properly. So I thought I'm just gonna add, you can either add some jute rope or this ribbon. It comes in a 3-pack, and I don't see where the other pack, oh, here it is. It comes with the burlap trim. I'm just gonna use one of one of these, and this one, for some reason, I was already playing around with it. I'm going to take this piece off. Just looks, and it actually tightens really well all the way around. So I'm going to do those off camera and put the little ribbon all the way around. And I'm just going to use some hot glue to put it on. I don't know why this goes on better than the other ribbon when it's almost the same width of it. But I'm going to do that to all 6 of the cups, and I am going to use the white cups. So let me get those painted, and then I'm going to put the burlap on, the little burlap ribbon on all the little cups that I have, and then we're going to put it together. All right, so I just wanted to show you, I glued the Jenga blocks onto the platter, and I glued the bottom, the bucket to the bottom. I did use some Wellbond glue, and I had some cement glue, but I think the Wellbond glue would have been great for using it. The only thing is, when you do underneath, I did it around the edges, as you can't see because it does dry clear. The only thing, if you put it here, because it's not level and there's an indentation, it's not going to glue. So you have to make sure that you glue it all the way around. I wouldn't suggest using hot glue. Excuse me. I would suggest using like a, you know, even E6000 or unless you're using Gorilla glue sticks. I just think that the hold will be a lot better for that. It's not like you're going to put rocks or heavy anything on it, but I just think it'd be a lot better. The paint, spray paint worked really well. I didn't just use the DT paint. I did do these as well, which turned out pretty good. Now you're gonna have to center them to make sure that they align. And so what we're gonna do is you're gonna put one, and you're gonna use, I'm gonna use some Wellbond and hot glue. I'm just gonna show you how I'm gonna glue it first. Oops. Now I'm just gonna use my little, and it just fits on the edge. And then the other one, I'm gonna do the exact same thing. And you're just gonna do it like that. Now to hold them in place, I just took one of these little buckets and I just bent the arms over a bit on it. I took the hanging off it, so when I'm gluing it, to make sure that it fits, and it just sits in there like that. So then you can just kind of play with it, make sure, looking on an angle, that it's even on both sides, and then I would just try gluing like that. When you're putting it down, the better thing is with the Wellbond, and you're gonna have to let it sit for a couple hours, or your E6000, let it sit for a couple hours. So I'm gonna do that off camera and let it sit like that, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, so I just wanted to show you, I let it dry for quite a few hours, and I'm just gonna turn it sideways here. It's a little bit movable on the side, and that's fine, because you will finally, when you put the rest of the buckets, it will be more solid. It's not gonna say that it's not solid. So I am just gonna put the fairy lights, I'm just gonna move this up here, and I'm just gonna glue it underneath. Now these fairy lights that I did buy are just from, they're just the flat battery pack on them that you can just glue easily enough. But when you do glue them with the little screws showing out, so that when you do need to change them, you can just unscrew them and lift it up and change the battery pack. Now the ones that I bought are, I'm just gonna move this, are from Amazon, and they came in a little box. 10 of them were $20, and it comes with a little tiny screwdriver, and it comes with all these extra batteries in them. I haven't had any problems with them. I've used them for some other centerpieces, the hula hoop centerpieces I did before Christmas, and they worked really well. Haven't had any issues, and I haven't had to change any of them. So when you're gonna do them, I'm gonna use 2 strands. Flip this back. So if I'm gonna start on the back part, which I'll just say on this part here, now it's all getting tangled here. I'm just gonna flip it this way. I like this little thing because it keeps it a little bit sturdy. I don't want to glue them on. You want to do this part first. So I'm gonna glue it on the back here with the screws showing. I'm just gonna put it here. We're gonna cover this after. Then I'm just gonna flip it for you guys to see because it's kind of on a weird angle that you guys can't see. I'm just gonna flip it around here. So you're gonna wanna do this before you put the little buckets on so you're not wrapping around the buckets. Makes it a little bit easier. I did do a test strand and it just wasn't long enough to go on both sides. That's why I'm going to use two. You can use the DT ones. You can stick them underneath because it's a battery operated. The only thing is, depending on what you put on the bottom, if it's like moss, then it would be okay to easily switch. But if you don't use moss and you use like rocks, you're just going to have to dig it out every time. I'm just going to do it like this. Pretend that battery's over there. So you're gonna have it wrapped around the base and you're gonna work your way and wrap it all the way around. From here, it seems a little bit longer, but once you wrap it, so you'll start here and you will end here. So you'll just have to watch as you go, but just wrapping it around in loops all the way around that it's tight enough that you can do. And I will be doing both the sides. So once I get that done, which will be a little bit time consuming, it's sticking to me here. Once I do that, then we will move on to adding the buckets. And I'll give you a couple little different options on the buckets because I've had a few ideas, but I'm just gonna stick with the one idea for today. But I will give you a bunch of options to show you what you could do, not just using what I had in mind. All right, so I just wanted to show you, so I got the lights on. I haven't glued them back on the side here yet. I just wanted to show you that I did that. So when I was maneuvering, wrapping it around, so on my strings, for example, how I kind of evened it out was per strand on one bicycle ring, there is 20 lights. So I kind of divided it like a clock. And so like 10 on one side, 10 on the other. And the same with the opposite sides. So I'll show you, let me turn them on here. I'm gonna do it this way. And let me just turn it on. So I really like the lighting on it, so it turned out really good. Now the next thing we'd wanna do, and I'm just gonna shut this off. Now in order to, because the bottom one, the cup on the bottom, it's kind of hard to maneuver when you're going to put the rest of the buckets on. I have the silver one on there now because I am doing a plant in top round. I was playing around with it, but I haven't glued that one on there yet. So for the rest of the buckets, it's kind of like a clock, and you're going to have to do one hanging here, say 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock. We already have one at 6, 8, and 10 o'clock. So the other two will be on the second rings that separates them equally. Now, instead of, you can hang them. I was trying to play around with them, didn't like that idea. So I'm just gonna show you here. So it's gonna hang here. When it's upright, you're gonna stick these ends facing out this way, and you're just gonna glue them on, and I'll show you what I mean. It just hooks on, it just hooks right around the hoop here and around on the other side, and you're gonna glue them. Obviously you'll be doing it upright. I'm just trying to show you the camera view. The exact same on the other side. But whatever you wanna put in the bottom, you better put that one in first before you glue these little buckets on, because it'll be much easier than trying to stick your hands through there. And you see, once again, the little hook is going to be on the outside of the ring, and the same with the other side. And then you're on the top one, the ring, the excuse me, the handle excuse me, the handle will be the opposite way because it'll be hanging this way, and it'll more hang off the little end here. It's going to be hard to show you. Just because I will show you the camera upright when I'm done, but it will be like that, and it's just slipping right now because it's the way it's lying on its side. And then the other one here. Now excuse me, my throat's dry. Now I'm gonna put the succulents from, I had a couple different ideas, but I'm just gonna do some succulents. I have a few. The one I'm working on for the top is just greenery from Dollarama. And then all these other little succulents you can get at DT is just gonna be put in there. I am just gonna use some Dollar Tree floral form and just cut little square, glue it to the bottom, and then underneath the leaves so you don't see them empty, I am just going to use some floral moss. I'm not going to use the reindeer moss. I'm just going to use the floral moss. It's a little bit messy. And going to put those, oh, for the bottom one, like I said, this one I really liked from DT. The only thing is it's really fat to get in there. Like, it's really thick. And I'm going to take an elastic, so to get it in there, because I don't want it to scrape any of the spray paint or anything. And I'm just going to get an elastic. And then once I get it in there, I'm just going to cut the elastic so then it will just fling out, because it is kind of thick to get in there. So just maybe putting 2 elastics. If you put the bigger one, that's what I want to do, is put the bigger one on the bottom. I will do 2 elastics once I get it propped in there and put some floral moss in there and the form. I will just cut the elastics through the side, which will be easy enough to get that one in there. Let me just get these on, and then I'm going to show you what we can do in the different options for the base. If you don't want to do succulents, you could also do some flowers from DT. I'll just grab some. I have some over here on my other side of my table. You could grab some of these purple and white ones. I think are just beautiful. You could stick some of those florals in there if you didn't want to do the succulent look. I also thought would be really cool with Easter, which you can do interchangeable, is actually just putting some floral moss or some deer moss. And actually, I'm just going to show you if I have one right here. I don't have the floral moss out of the bag, but even putting little Easter eggs all the way around it, which would be really cute. You know, you could do some, basically a lot of different things. You know, it could be good for a centerpiece for different occasions, different holidays. You could change up the bottom. I do have a cute idea for the bottom here, but I'm just going to get these on, and then we're going to move on to the last and final part of this video. All right, so I finished doing the flowers. I am going to turn the camera the other way in a minute, but before I put the final touches and show you the final result, I just left it on the top. When I wasn't going to do it that way, I just left it in the little holes on the top. I didn't bother changing it to glue it to the sides. It just held better, and I really liked how it turned out. Now, there's a couple different things that you can do for your base. I did want to show you, so just for the little white, I did forget to mention this earlier. So the little white tin buckets, the metal buckets, I bought them, it says 9-piece, but it's because it came with little tassels, but they come in a pack of 3. These are not in the crafting section. They are actually in the wedding, birthday party section. So if you want those, and then if you want to do the metal buckets, they actually are in the crafting section. Also too, you could use, you know, those little wood cubes that they had, and you could paint it rustic. They had the smaller little square ones. I haven't seen them in a while, but you could also use those instead of the buckets. I just like these because the little handles were able to connect them better on the bicycle metal frame. I just thought they worked better, but those are just other options you can do. Now, I decided to pick up these DT pebbles, and I just like them because they're an aqua finish, just a nice clean look with the white. Now you can do any color. Also, there was another option that I thought that was really cool, was the sand that they have in the jar, where you could use sand, and you know how they have a little rake, like a thing, I think it's called feng shui, and you could put like those little rocks like faith, hope, that they have the spelling. I haven't seen those in a while. I kind of looked today because I was going to show you on camera, but I couldn't find any. I went to another dollar store and I couldn't find them there either. I guess it's been a while just when I've seen them, but I mean, you can opt with sand, you can do a different color, or you can do, even if you changed it and you didn't have succulents, you could actually, instead of using succulents, actually I thought about it too off cameras, you could use air plants. I thought was a good idea, you know, just because you don't need to really water them, or even cactuses. You just gotta be careful, obviously, if you're trying to put them in there. But I'm gonna put the stones in there, and then I'm gonna change my camera the other way, and we'll show you the final result. I think it turned out really great. I'm really excited about it. Still trying to figure out, probably gonna do it in put it in my washroom, but let me just get the stones in there and then I'll turn the camera around. All right, so here's the final product. I'm in love with it. Sorry I turned the lights down a bit just so you could see the lights on it. I think it turned out really well. I am gonna put it in my bathroom because it matches the aqua blue to my bathroom theme. I think I might add some shells just because of the more beachy vibe to it. You can change it up. You can add some, whatever your decor is. You don't have to use the green. I just thought it worked out well. The aqua color was just a pretty color. I want to do a shout out to all you amazing crafters, and thank you for all the awesome compliments and for reaching out. You guys are all really amazing, and thank you for supporting me. This is just a hobby for me. I do not sell my crafts. I get a lot of people messaging me asking me if I could make them one, and they buy it off me. I don't sell them, unfortunately. And yes, I'll be making a Jenga pig. Those are a lot of the requests I've been getting lately, and I keep getting messages for. I will eventually do them. I am not taking any more Jenga block requests for animals because I have enough to last me probably a lifetime. You're more than welcome to ask, and I might get inspired by an animal that you do ask, but right now I am just going to do the pig and the owl. Those are the top two that I will do in the next coming couple tutorials that I do. I'm not sure in what order, just depends on what I'm inspired to do at the time. So those will be the two that I will be doing, and got to figure out a design for them. Thank you for watching. Happy crafting, and let me know what you guys think in the comments. What do you guys think of this? I think it's super cute. All right guys, we'll see you soon. Bye.